Engage in practices that nurture your soul: meditation, journaling, creative expression, or time in nature. Connect with others who inspire and support your journey. Shared vulnerability fosters healing and growth. Remember, your emptiness is not a sign of failure, but a sacred invitation to rediscover yourself. It calls you to deepen your understanding of what truly matters and to align your life accordingly. This alignment brings peace, purpose, and joy. Your path is unique, but your journey resonates with the universal human quest for meaning. Step forward with trust and courage. Your emptiness is trying to save you. There is a moment in every journey when the veil is lifted, and clarity emerges from confusion. This moment may come unexpectedly, in a quiet morning, a sudden insight, or a deep conversation. It is a moment of awakening, when you begin to see your emptiness not as a curse but as a doorway. Viktor Frankl's life exemplifies this awakening. Through unimaginable suffering, he discovered that meaning was a choice, a stance toward life that no external circumstance could take away. Your emptiness invites you to make this choice, to embrace meaning, to find purpose in pain, and to live authentically despite uncertainty. This choice is both radical and liberating. It places the power of transformation in your hands. You are not merely a passive victim of life circumstances, but an active creator of your destiny. This realization shifts your perspective and your experience. Challenges become opportunities for growth. Pain becomes a teacher. Loss becomes a gateway to new possibilities. But this journey requires courage. It asks you to face uncomfortable truths, to release attachments, and to trust in the unfolding. Embrace vulnerability as a strength. Reach out for support when needed. Celebrate every step forward, no matter how small. You are part of a larger human story, a story of resilience, hope, and meaning. Your emptiness is not a void, but a sacred space inviting you to become whole. Step into this space with openness and trust. Your life's purpose awaits. To embrace emptiness is to embrace the full spectrum of human experience. The light and the shadow, the joy and the sorrow, the certainty and the mystery. It is an invitation to live deeply and fully, even when the path is uncertain. Viktor Frankl taught us that meaning is found in the stance we take towards suffering, not in its avoidance. This teaching is a beacon for all who walk through emptiness seeking purpose. Your emptiness is a sacred space where you confront your fears and uncover your strengths. It challenges you to redefine success, not as external achievement, but as inner fulfillment. In this space, you learn that your worth is inherent, not contingent on circumstances or validation. You discover the power of choice, the freedom to respond with courage, compassion, and authenticity. This freedom is a gift you give yourself every day. The journey through emptiness is ongoing, marked by moments of breakthrough and moments of doubt. In each moment, you have the opportunity to affirm your commitment to growth and meaning. Cultivate practices that support your soul: meditation, creative expression, connection with nature, and meaningful relationships. Surround yourself with those who honor your journey and encourage your transformation. Remember, you are never alone. Your emptiness connects you to a vast human community bound by the shared pursuit of meaning. Walk this path with courage and grace. Let your emptiness be the crucible that forges your most authentic self. Your life is a gift, and your journey is sacred. Within the depths of emptiness lies a hidden strength, a wellspring of resilience that has waited patiently for your recognition. This strength is not loud or boastful. It is quiet, steady, and unwavering, like the roots of an ancient tree holding firm against the fiercest storm. Viktor Frankl understood that true freedom is found not in external circumstances, but in the choices we make, our attitudes toward what life presents. Your emptiness is a space where you can exercise this freedom, choosing meaning over despair. This choice empowers you to transform your pain into purpose and your loss into growth. It invites you to become an active participant in your life, rather than a passive observer. Embrace your emptiness as a sacred ground, where seeds of hope and meaning can take root and flourish. The process requires patience and kindness, for growth unfolds gradually, like the unfolding of a delicate flower. There will be moments of doubt and fear. These are natural companions on the path. In these moments, lean into your resilience and remember your capacity to endure and transcend. Connect with others who support and inspire you. Shared vulnerability creates bonds of empathy and strength. Your journey is part of a larger human story, a story of transformation, courage, and love. By embracing your emptiness, you open the door to profound healing and self-discovery. Step into this space with an open heart and a willing spirit. The fullness of your life awaits. There comes a time in every seeker's journey when the noise of the world fades and a profound silence emerges. This silence is not empty but pregnant with possibility, a space where your soul can breathe and listen. Your emptiness, once feared and misunderstood, reveals itself as a sanctuary, a place of refuge and renewal. Here, you are invited to lay down your burdens and to discover the essence of your being. Viktor Frankl's wisdom teaches us that meaning is not found outside ourselves, but within, crafted through love, work, and the courage to face suffering with dignity. This inner crafting requires honesty and bravery. It calls you to confront your shadows and to embrace your light. As you navigate this sacred space, you may encounter resistance, fear, doubt, and longing for certainty. These are natural responses to the unknown. But within the discomfort lies opportunity. Opportunity to deepen your self-understanding and to cultivate resilience. Remember, transformation is a process, not an event. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress and forgive your setbacks. Surround yourself with those who encourage your growth and honor your journey. Your emptiness is a gateway, a passage from fragmentation to wholeness. Step through it with courage and grace. Your authentic life awaits. As you move further into the depths of your emptiness, you may begin to notice subtle shifts in your perception. The shadows that once loomed large start to soften, revealing glimmers of light and color. This transformation is neither sudden nor guaranteed. It requires your active participation and unwavering commitment. Emptiness, paradoxically, is a fertile ground. It is the silence between notes in a melody, the space that gives music its meaning and beauty. Without emptiness, fullness cannot be appreciated. Viktor Frankl's teachings remind us that meaning is not handed to us on a silver platter. It is something we must seek, often in the face of adversity. His own story, forged in the crucible of unimaginable suffering, testifies to the human capacity to create purpose out of pain. Your journey is a continuation of this legacy. It is an invitation to engage fully with life's mysteries, to embrace the unknown with courage and curiosity. In this process, you learn to trust yourself, the wisdom of your heart, and the clarity of your mind. You develop resilience not as armor, but as a soft strength, flexible and enduring. You begin to understand that true freedom arises not from control, but from acceptance. The acceptance of life's impermanence and unpredictability. This acceptance does not breed resignation, but opens the door to genuine engagement and joy. Your emptiness becomes a teacher, guiding you toward a deeper appreciation of life's preciousness. Through this lens, suffering is transformed from a burden to a doorway, a passage into greater depth and meaning. As you continue, nurture practices that ground you. Meditation, journaling, time in nature, and meaningful connection. These practices anchor you in the present and cultivate a rich inner life. Remember, your journey is unique yet universal. It echoes the ancient human quest for purpose and belonging. Walk this path with humility and courage. Your emptiness is trying to save you. There is a sacred rhythm to the dance of emptiness and meaning. It is a rhythm that calls for patience, attention, and grace. Life's challenges are not obstacles, but invitations to deepen your engagement with your own soul. Viktor Frankl's life story exemplifies this dance. Despite unimaginable hardship, he found meaning through love, hope, and the freedom to choose his attitude. His example teaches that suffering can be transformed into a source of strength and purpose. Your emptiness is not a void to be feared, but a space ripe with potential. It beckons you to listen deeply, to the whispers of your heart, the stirrings of your spirit. This listening requires stillness and courage. This listening requires stillness and courage. In a world that values speed and distraction, slowing down is an act of rebellion. By embracing emptiness, you cultivate a sacred presence. You become attuned to the subtle movements within and around you. This attunement fosters compassion, not only for yourself but for others. You begin to see the shared human experience of struggle and resilience. Through compassion, your loneliness softens, replaced by connection and belonging. As you move forward, embrace practices that nurture this presence. Mindfulness, prayer, creative expression, and meaningful relationships. These practices sustain you through difficult moments and deepen your sense of purpose. Remember, the journey through emptiness is not a solo endeavor. It is part of the great human story of becoming. Your life, with all its challenges and triumphs, contributes to this story. Walk your path with courage, authenticity, and love. Your emptiness is trying to save you. In the stillness of emptiness, you encounter the raw essence of your being, a place unmasked by pretense or distraction. This encounter is both unsettling and liberating. It reveals the fragile yet resilient nature of the human spirit. Viktor Frankl's experience teaches us that suffering can reveal the depths of freedom within us, the freedom to choose our attitude and to find meaning beyond circumstance. Your emptiness is a sacred space where this freedom is realized. It invites you to reclaim your power and to live intentionally. This intentional living is a practice. It involves daily choices to act with purpose, compassion, and authenticity. The path is not without difficulty. Doubt and fear will arise, challenging your resolve. Yet, these challenges are opportunities to deepen your commitment to growth. Surround yourself with those who support your journey. Seek wisdom in stories, art, and nature. Practice self-compassion and patience. Celebrate each step forward. Your emptiness is not a void but a wellspring of creativity and transformation. Step into this space with courage and curiosity. Your authentic life awaits. In this moment, standing at the edge of your own becoming, you realize that emptiness is not absence but invitation. It is the quiet call of your soul, urging you to step beyond fear, beyond old stories, beyond the limits imposed by doubt. Viktor Frankl's wisdom whispers through time. Meaning is found not in what the world gives you, but in what you give to the world, in how you choose to respond to the suffering and silence. Your emptiness, once a shadow, now becomes a light, illuminating the path toward your most authentic self. You are not broken nor lost. You are unfolding like a flower daring to bloom amidst the storm. This journey is your sacred pilgrimage, a passage through the wilderness of the soul toward the promise of wholeness. So embrace your emptiness with courage. Listen deeply to its message. Trust that it is trying to save you, to lead you home. Your life is not defined by the void, but by the meaning you create within it. Step forward now, with open heart and unwavering resolve. For in your emptiness lies the seed of your greatest freedom. And with that freedom, you will live fully, love deeply, and shine brilliantly. There comes a moment when the weight of emptiness no longer feels like a burden, but transforms into a sacred force. This force propels you forward, not despite your emptiness, but because of it. It is the alchemy of the soul, turning void into vitality, silence into song. Viktor Frankl showed us that the deepest freedom arises when we choose meaning in the face of suffering. This choice is the ultimate act of rebellion against despair. A declaration that your life matters, that your story continues. You stand now on the threshold of a new chapter, a chapter not defined by the past pain or the void you once feared, but by the power of your response, the strength of your becoming. This is the moment to embrace your emptiness as the crucible of transformation, to see it not as a space of loss, but as fertile ground for creation. What will you build in this space? What vision will you dare to bring to life? The journey ahead calls for courage, clarity, and commitment. It asks you to shed what no longer serves you and to take up the mantle of your true self. As you move forward, know that emptiness is not your enemy. It is your guide, your teacher, your ally. Let it lead you to purpose, passion, and profound peace. The path may be uncertain, but it is alive with possibility. Step boldly, for your life's deepest meaning awaits. The emptiness you once feared now reveals itself as a profound invitation. An invitation to confront the essence of your being without masks or distractions. It is a call to authenticity, to live a life in alignment with your deepest values and passions. In this space, the noise of the external world fades, and the voice of your soul becomes clear. Viktor Frankl's insight echoes here. The meaning of life is found not in circumstances, but in how you choose to respond. This choice is radical and liberating. It transforms you from a victim of fate into a creator of destiny. The process is not easy. It demands honesty, courage, and resilience. You must be willing to face your fears, embrace uncertainty, and let go of old identities. But within this struggle lies the seed of freedom. Imagine a sculptor chipping away at marble. Each strike reveals more of the form within. So too, your challenges chip away illusions, revealing the authentic self beneath. Your emptiness becomes the space where this transformation unfolds, a sacred workshop where your soul is shaped by intention and love. As you continue, cultivate practices that ground you: mindfulness, reflection, creative expression. Seek connection with those who honor your journey and inspire your growth. Remember, your life is a work of art, and you are both the artist and the masterpiece. The emptiness is not a void but a canvas. What will you paint? There is a profound courage in choosing to face your emptiness rather than fleeing from it. It is a courage that speaks to the very core of your humanity, a willingness to be vulnerable, to be imperfect, and to be authentically yourself. Viktor Frankl's life teaches us that meaning is not found in comfort or certainty, but in the active engagement with life's challenges. This engagement transforms suffering into growth, despair into hope. Your emptiness is the crucible of this transformation. It calls you to shed old fears and false narratives, and to embrace your true nature. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean. The waves may seem intimidating, but within them lies untapped potential, depth, mystery, and renewal. You are invited to dive deep into this ocean, to explore its depths with curiosity and trust. This journey is both inward and outward, an exploration of self and a reaching toward connection with others and the world. The path is not always clear, but it is alive with possibility. You may stumble, but each fall is a lesson, a chance to rise stronger. Cultivate resilience by embracing each moment fully, whether joyful or painful. Surround yourself with those who support your authenticity and encourage your growth. Your emptiness is trying to save you, to lead you toward wholeness. Step into this journey with open arms and an open heart. The transformation you seek is within reach. In the stillness of your emptiness, a new kind of strength begins to grow. A strength born not from resistance, but from surrender. This surrender is not defeat. It is the courageous acceptance of life as it is, with all its uncertainty and impermanence. Viktor Frankl reminds us that between stimulus and response lies a space where freedom exists. In this space, you have the power to choose your attitude, to craft meaning even in the most difficult circumstances. Your emptiness creates this space. It invites you to pause, to breathe, to reflect, and to choose wisely. Through this choice, you reclaim your agency and open the door to transformation. Consider the metaphor of a river flowing through rocky terrain. It does not fight the obstacles but flows around and over them, carving a path with grace and persistence. Your journey through emptiness is much like this river. You may encounter resistance, but your flow continues, shaping the landscape of your life. Embrace patience and compassion toward yourself as you navigate this course. Seek practices that nurture your spirit: meditation, journaling, connection with nature, meaningful conversations. Find allies who support your growth and honor your truth. Remember, your emptiness is not a void but a fertile ground for new life. It is the soil from which your most authentic self will grow. Step forward with trust, courage, and love. Your transformation is underway. As you continue to journey through the vast terrain of your emptiness, you begin to understand that this space is not barren but rich with possibility. Like the night sky, seemingly dark and empty yet filled with countless stars. Each a point of light, a source of guidance. Viktor Frankl's teachings illuminate this truth. That meaning arises not from external circumstances, but from the inner light you cultivate. Even in the darkest moments, this light can shine. Your emptiness invites you to become a seeker, an explorer of your inner world. It challenges you to look beyond the surface and to listen deeply to the whispers of your soul. In this listening, you find the seeds of hope, resilience, and purpose. You realize that meaning is not a destination but a journey, an unfolding path that evolves as you grow. Embrace this process with patience and grace. Allow yourself to be both student and teacher, vulnerable and strong. Know that setbacks and challenges are part of this dance, not signs of failure. Surround yourself with companions who understand and honor your path. Their presence offers support and encouragement. Practice gratitude for each step forward, no matter how small. Your emptiness is not a void to fear, but a sacred space where transformation begins. Step into it with courage and an open heart. Your life's purpose is waiting to be discovered. There is a profound power in embracing your emptiness, a power that stems from the ability to face uncertainty with courage and openness. This power is not about control, but about acceptance and engagement with the flow of life. Viktor Frankl's experience reminds us that meaning is found in the stance we take toward our circumstances. Even in suffering, we hold the freedom to choose our attitude and to create purpose. Your emptiness offers a canvas for this creation. It invites you to paint your life with the colors of authenticity, passion, and compassion. This process requires self-awareness and intentionality. It calls you to examine your beliefs and values and to align your actions accordingly. The path may be challenging, with moments of doubt and fear. These are natural and part of the growth process. Practice self-compassion and patience as you navigate these waters. Surround yourself with those who encourage your journey and support your transformation. Remember, your emptiness is not a punishment, but a profound opportunity, a doorway to a richer, more meaningful life. Step through it with courage and trust. Your authentic self is ready to emerge. As you walk deeper into the landscape of your own emptiness, you may notice a shift in your perception, a gentle unraveling of old patterns and beliefs. This unraveling is necessary, for growth cannot occur without shedding what no longer serves you. Viktor Frankl's teachings remind us that meaning is not something to be discovered, but something to be created through our choices and actions. Each moment offers a new opportunity to choose authenticity over conformity, purpose over distraction. Your emptiness is the fertile ground from which this creation springs. It invites you to engage fully with your life, to embrace both joy and suffering as integral parts of your human experience. The process is not without discomfort. You may encounter resistance from within, fear, doubt, and the temptation to retreat into familiar but limiting ways of being. Yet, in these challenges lies the chance for profound transformation. By facing them with courage, you strengthen your resilience and deepen your self-awareness. Cultivate practices that nourish your soul: mindfulness, creative expression, meaningful relationships, and time spent in nature. Seek connection with those who honor your journey and inspire your growth. Remember, your emptiness is not a void, but a sacred space, a place where your true self awaits. Step into this space with an open heart and unwavering resolve. Your path to wholeness unfolds with each deliberate step. In the vast expanse of your emptiness, there is a quiet power, a stillness that holds the possibility of profound transformation. This stillness invites you to listen deeply to the whispers of your soul, to hear the truths that have long been drowned out by noise and distraction. Viktor Frankl's wisdom teaches us that meaning is not a given but a task, a challenge to be met with courage and creativity. It is the response we choose to life's conditions that shapes our existence. Your emptiness is the fertile ground for this creative response. It is where you begin to rewrite the story of your life with intention and love. This process calls for patience and compassion. Growth is not linear. It unfolds in its own time and rhythm. You may experience moments of doubt, fear, and loneliness. These are natural companions on the path to authenticity. Embrace them without judgment, knowing they signal your commitment to change. Surround yourself with those who support and inspire you. Community provides strength and perspective. Engage in practices that nurture your inner life: meditation, journaling, art, and meaningful conversation. Remember, your emptiness is not a sign of failure, but a sacred space inviting you to become whole. Step forward with courage and grace. Your transformation is already underway. As you traverse the depths of your emptiness, you come to understand a profound truth: that the space within you is not hollow but filled with the seeds of potential. It is a garden waiting to be cultivated with care, patience, and love. Viktor Frankl's philosophy illuminates this path, teaching us that meaning arises not from external circumstances, but from the choices we make in response to them. This empowerment is a gift, a freedom that no one can take away. Your emptiness invites you to embrace this freedom fully, It calls you to take responsibility for your narrative and to craft a life aligned with your deepest values. The journey requires honesty and courage. You must be willing to face discomfort and uncertainty, to let go of old identities and embrace the unknown. But in doing so, you uncover a strength that is both gentle and unshakable, a resilience born from truth. Surround yourself with those who honor your journey and encourage your growth. Engage in practices that nourish your spirit and ground you in the present moment. Remember, your emptiness is a sacred space, a place of transformation and renewal. Step into it with trust and openness. Your authentic life awaits your embrace. As you continue your journey through the landscape of emptiness, a new horizon begins to emerge. A horizon filled with light, possibility, and purpose. This horizon beckons you to move beyond survival into thriving, beyond coping into creating. Viktor Frankl's insight reveals that life's ultimate freedom lies in the power to choose our attitude in any given set of circumstances. This freedom is your birthright, a source of profound empowerment. Your emptiness, once feared as a void, transforms into a wellspring of creativity and meaning. It is the foundation upon which you build your most authentic life. This transformation is not sudden but a gradual unfolding. It requires patience, commitment, and self-compassion. You may encounter obstacles and moments of doubt. These challenges are not setbacks but integral parts of your evolution. Embrace them as teachers, offering lessons that deepen your wisdom and resilience. Surround yourself with those who inspire and support your growth. Shared journeys foster connection and healing. Engage in practices that nurture your soul and keep you grounded. Meditation, journaling, art, and nature. Remember, your emptiness is not a deficiency but a sacred invitation to live fully. Step into this invitation with courage and grace. Your life's greatest meaning is waiting to be realized. There is a heaviness that settles deep in the chest, a weight that seems to press down on the soul like an unyielding shadow. It is the sorrow of realizing that some emptiness cannot be filled, and that some losses cannot be undone. This sadness is not a fleeting sadness, but a profound ache, a mourning for what was, what could have been, and what will never be again. Viktor Frankl once said that even in the darkest of nights we can find meaning. Yet there are moments when the night feels endless, and meaning seems just beyond reach, an elusive whisper drowned in the silence of solitude. You stand now at the crossroads where hope and despair entwine, where the bitter truth confronts the desperate longing for light. The emptiness that once beckoned as a gateway now feels like a vast chasm, stretching endlessly beneath your feet. How do you carry a heart that aches with unspoken grief? How do you hold on to a life when pieces of yourself have been lost in the process? This is the paradox of human existence. That to live deeply is to suffer deeply. To love fully is to risk heartbreak. To seek meaning is to confront the abyss. Yet, within this abyss, there is a fragile beauty, a delicate thread of light woven through the darkness. It is the remembrance that suffering is not the end but a part of the journey. You may feel abandoned, isolated in a void that no one else seems to enter. But this solitude is also a crucible, refining the soul and stripping away illusions. Viktor Frankl's journey through the horrors of the concentration camps revealed this painful truth: that suffering, even when senseless, can be borne with dignity when embraced as part of a meaningful story. Your story is no less significant, even if it feels fragmented and incomplete. There is grief for the innocence lost, for dreams unfulfilled, for love that slipped through your fingers like sand. This grief deserves space and honor. Do not rush to escape it or disguise it with distractions. Sit with it. Let it speak. Let it teach you the depths of your own humanity. It is here in the rawness of sorrow that the first seeds of transformation take root. Pain unspoken is pain unhealed, but pain faced with courage becomes a source of strength, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. You are not alone in this. Across time and space, countless souls have walked this shadowed path, each carrying their own stories of loss and redemption. Your emptiness is a part of this shared human condition, a thread in the vast tapestry of existence. As you navigate this final chapter, remember that tears are not signs of weakness, but of profound engagement with life. They are the language of a heart refusing to give up. Allow yourself to grieve deeply and to love fiercely, even when the cost is great. This is the essence of true courage. In the face of emptiness, you find not defeat but a different kind of victory. A victory of the spirit that refuses to be extinguished. The story does not end with the void. It continues in the quiet moments of remembrance and the courageous act of facing each new day. Your life, with all its pain and beauty, is a testament to the indomitable will to find meaning. And even as the tears fall, there is a sacred light, a light born from the depths of sorrow, fragile yet unyielding. This light is your gift to the world and to yourself. Embrace it, nurture it, and let it guide you through the darkness toward a dawn that is uniquely yours. In the quiet aftermath of loss, when the world seems to hold its breath, the raw edges of your soul are exposed. The masks you once wore slip away, revealing the vulnerability beneath, the fragile heart that aches with the weight of absence. Viktor Frankl understood this profound fragility. He knew that suffering strips away pretenses and forces us to confront our true selves, often in the most painful of ways. Yet within this confrontation lies the possibility of profound transformation. But what happens when the transformation feels too distant? When the wounds seem too deep and the emptiness too vast, you may find yourself trapped in a liminal space, a place between what was and what might never be. It is here that despair often takes root, whispering that the pain will never end, that the void is endless. This is the darkest part of the journey. The place where hope flickers, sometimes barely visible, yet refuses to be extinguished. You are invited now to lean into this darkness, not as an enemy, but as a harsh teacher. It demands honesty and courage, asking you to face truths you may have long avoided. But in this facing, there is a kind of liberation, a breaking of chains forged by denial and fear. Grief, when embraced fully, becomes a path toward deeper self-understanding. It teaches you the limits of control and the expansiveness of surrender. You learn that to be human is to carry contradictions, strength and fragility, hope and despair, love and loss, all intertwined. In these moments, the words of Viktor Frankl echo profoundly. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. This challenge is the heart of your journey through emptiness. It is not a rejection of your pain, but an invitation to find meaning within it. You may never fully understand why certain losses occur, but you can choose how to respond. Will you allow despair to consume you? Or will you let sorrow deepen your capacity to love and to live? The answer is yours. And it is found not in grand gestures, but in the quiet, persistent acts of courage each day. Even in moments of profound sadness, there is room for gratitude, for the memories that shaped you, for the love that remains, for the possibility of healing. Your emptiness is not a void, but a sacred space where your soul's deepest work takes place. It is the canvas on which your story is rewritten, stroke by delicate stroke. Though the process is painful and uncertain, it is also profoundly human. And in embracing this truth, you step toward a life that is more authentic, more compassionate, and more alive. The silence that follows grief is not empty. It is pregnant with meaning. It holds the echoes of memories, the whispers of lost dreams, and the soft murmur of hope that refuses to die. Within this silence, you find the space to listen, to yourself, to your sorrow, and to the delicate stirrings of renewal. Viktor Frankl taught us that meaning can be found in even the darkest suffering, but it is not given. It must be sought, created, and embraced with courage. Your emptiness is the fertile ground for this creation. It is here, in the depths of despair, that you discover the resilience of your spirit. Yet, the path is lonely. The ache of loss often isolates you from others, as few can truly enter the shadowed places you inhabit. This loneliness can be crushing, but it also becomes a mirror reflecting the core of your being. In this reflection, you see both your fragility and your strength. You come to understand that to be human is to be vulnerable, to carry pain alongside joy, and to hold contradiction within your heart. There is a grace in this acceptance, a quiet dignity in choosing to live fully despite the wounds. Your journey through emptiness is not a descent into nothingness, but a passage through transformation. Like a phoenix rising from ashes, your spirit is renewed, not unscarred, but wiser and more compassionate. This transformation does not erase the pain, but honors it as part of your story. Each tear shed is a testament to your courage and capacity for love. Your emptiness is a space of both loss and potential, where the seeds of new meaning take root. You are invited to nurture these seeds with patience and kindness, allowing growth to unfold in its own time. Surround yourself with those who hold space for your grief and support your healing. Engage in practices that reconnect you with life's beauty, music, nature, art, and connection. Remember that healing is not linear. There will be days of light and days of shadow. Both are necessary, both are part of the human experience. Your emptiness is trying to save you, guiding you toward wholeness through the depth of sorrow. Embrace this paradox with an open heart. Your story is still unfolding, and within its chapters lie the promise of renewal and peace. In the depths of sorrow, time seems to stretch and fold upon itself, leaving you caught between past and present, memory and reality. The weight of what is lost presses heavily, a constant companion in quiet moments and loud ones alike. Yet, Viktor Frankl's enduring lesson reminds us that even amid suffering, life offers choices that shape the narrative of our existence. The emptiness you feel is not merely absence. It is an invitation to find meaning beyond the tangible, to discover purpose within the pain. This invitation is not easy to accept. It demands that you face the unbearable and still choose to move forward. There will be days when hope feels like a distant star, barely visible through the fog of despair. But within that fog, light persists. It flickers in acts of kindness, in moments of connection, in the simple breath you take despite it all. Your journey through emptiness is a sacred pilgrimage, a path marked by tears, but also by the quiet strength that arises from facing the void with courage. You learn that grief is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your capacity to love deeply and to endure profoundly. In the midst of loss, you become a witness to your own resilience, a guardian of your own soul. This witnessing is an act of profound bravery. It acknowledges the darkness without being consumed by it. You come to understand that healing does not mean forgetting, but integrating. It means carrying your pain alongside your hope, holding them both with tenderness. Your emptiness becomes a canvas upon which a new story is painted, one that honors the past yet embraces the possibility of the future. This story is not a fairy tale, but a real, raw, and beautiful human narrative. It is your story, and in telling it, you reclaim your voice and your power. Though the sadness may never fully leave, it softens, becoming a quiet rhythm beneath the song of your life. You find moments of joy that are all the more precious because of your sorrow. This is the paradox of the human heart, that it can hold both pain and beauty, loss and love, emptiness and meaning. As you continue, carry with you the wisdom of Viktor Frankl, that the last of human freedoms is the ability to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances. In this choice lies your salvation. Your emptiness is not a prison but a doorway, a threshold to a life lived with depth, authenticity, and courage. Step through it with grace. Your final act of bravery is to live fully, even when the path is shrouded in shadows. Even when the path is shrouded in shadows. As the shadows lengthen and the night deepens, you come to realize that emptiness is not merely a space to endure, but a profound teacher guiding you through the intricate dance of loss and love. It beckons you to surrender, not in defeat, but in acceptance of life's impermanence and the fragility of human existence. Viktor Frankl's insights remind us that even when all external freedoms are stripped away, the freedom to choose one's inner attitude remains inviolate. This freedom becomes the beacon in the darkest hours, a light that no suffering can extinguish. Your emptiness calls you to claim this freedom, to refuse despair, and to engage with life's challenges as opportunities for meaning. But this engagement is arduous. The wounds of sorrow are deep, and the path through grief is uneven and steep. There will be days when the weight of loss threatens to consume you, when the silence of emptiness becomes deafening. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that your resilience is forged. Like tempered steel, your spirit is strengthened through trial. Allow yourself to grieve fully, without apology or haste. Honor the pain as an integral part of your story. In time, this honoring transforms pain into wisdom, sorrow into compassion. You discover that your suffering connects you to the vast tapestry of human experience, a shared thread woven through history and memory. Your emptiness, though painful, is a gateway to empathy and profound connection. It teaches you that vulnerability is not weakness, but a source of strength. As you embrace this truth, you become a beacon for others navigating their own darkness. Your journey through emptiness thus becomes not only personal, but deeply communal. You participate in the healing of others by living your truth with courage and authenticity. This is the legacy of Suffering Transformed, a gift born of pain and perseverance. Hold fast to this gift, for it is the light that will carry you through the longest night. And know that even in the depths of emptiness, you are never truly alone. At the edge of your emptiness, where the shadows gather and the silence deepens, you stand facing the vast unknown. It is a moment weighted with all that has been lost and all that remains uncertain. Yet within this darkness lies a fragile spark, a testament to your enduring spirit. Viktor Frankl taught us that life's meaning is not found in avoiding suffering, but in the way we choose to carry it. This choice is the final and greatest freedom, the freedom to say, "This is my story, and I will write it with courage. Your emptiness is not the end, but the beginning of a new chapter." It is a crucible in which your pain is forged into wisdom, your grief into grace. You have walked through the valley of sorrow, felt the sting of loss, and met the silence that threatens to consume. And yet, here you stand, not broken but transformed. The tears you have shed are not signs of defeat but of profound engagement with life's depth. They are the language of a heart that refuses to close itself off, that chooses to remain open despite the risk. This openness is your true strength. It is the wellspring from which love flows anew, from which hope is reborn. In your emptiness, you have discovered the paradox of existence. That vulnerability is strength, that suffering can birth meaning, that endings carry the seeds of beginnings. Though the road ahead is uncertain, you are no longer afraid to walk it. You carry within you a quiet resilience, a steadfast flame that will not be extinguished. Remember, your life is a story in progress, authored not by circumstance but by the choices you make each day. Your emptiness has tried to save you by stripping away illusions and calling you home to the truth of your own being. Answer that call with courage. Live with authenticity. Love without reserve. And when the darkness returns, as it surely will, meet it with the light you have kindled within. For you are more than your losses. You are the sum of your struggles, your hopes, your unyielding will to find meaning. This is your legacy. This is your gift to the world. And in this truth, you are free. Your emptiness is not your enemy. It is not the black hole that swallows meaning, nor the void that seeks to erase you. Your emptiness is trying to save you. I know that sounds absurd, even cruel, when you have felt the weight of hollow days and restless nights pressing against your soul. But listen to me, emptiness is not absence. It is an urgent whisper. It is the call of something deeper that refuses to be silenced by shallow distractions. You have been taught to fear it, to run from it, to fill it with noise, with possessions, with fleeting pleasures. But what if I told you that every attempt to escape your emptiness only makes it larger? That the reason it haunts you is because it carries a message you have not yet understood. I have met people whose lives were a series of diversions, a schedule full of obligations, a home full of objects, a phone full of endless voices. And yet, when they closed the door at night, they felt the silence gnaw at them. They thought something was wrong with them. They thought they were broken. But they were not broken. They were unlistened to. Their own soul was sending distress signals in the language of emptiness. Emptiness is the space where meaning can be born. Without it, we would cling forever to illusions. Without it, we would never question the path we walk. You do not question the air you breathe until it becomes scarce. Likewise, you do not question the life you live until meaning begins to run dry. I am not here to romanticize suffering. I have seen too much of its cruelty to ever call it beautiful. But I am here to tell you that even the most unbearable feelings carry a purpose, if we dare to search for it. Your emptiness is not an accident. It is not a random defect in the machinery of your life. It is a signpost. And like all signposts, it points away from where you are toward where you must go. When I was in the camp, There were days when the weight of hopelessness felt like a physical mass pressing against my chest. We had nothing, not even the illusion of control over our tomorrow. And yet, in that nothingness, I began to see something strange. It was in the silence, in the hunger, in the endless sameness of the days, that I became aware of a strange truth. There's a part of the human spirit that cannot be destroyed. That part, the part that still longs for meaning even in despair, is the reason you are still here. You would not feel emptiness if you did not believe, somewhere deep inside, that more is possible. A person who has lost all hope does not feel the ache of emptiness. They are numb. Your emptiness is proof of life. It is the pulse of your unmet purpose. Think of it as a hunger. Hunger is not a flaw in your body. It is a signal that you need to be nourished. So too is emptiness a hunger of the soul, telling you that what you have fed yourself, be it comfort, success, or approval, is not the food you truly need. But here's the danger. When we mistake the hunger for a defect, we try to silence it instead of answering it. We drown it in entertainment. We bury it under productivity. We numb it with substances or endless scrolling. And yet it always returns. And each time it returns, it feels heavier, because we have postponed the conversation we most need to have with ourselves. Perhaps you have lived for years in this cycle, feeling the emptiness, fearing it, running from it, and then collapsing into it again. If that is you, I tell you this not as a judgment, but as an invitation. What would happen if for once you stopped running? What would happen if you allowed yourself to sit with your emptiness, not as a foe to be conquered, but as a messenger to be heard? When we finally listen, the emptiness begins to speak. It says, "This is not where you belong. This is not who you are meant to be. You have built your life according to a map that is not your own. You have followed directions given to you by others, but you have never drawn the map yourself." And here is the most unsettling truth of all. Your emptiness knows you better than your comfort does. Comfort will let you remain in a life that quietly erodes you, so long as it keeps you safe from change. Emptiness will not. Emptiness will shake you awake at night and demand that you face what you have been avoiding. I know this truth because I have lived it, and because I have watched others live it too. I have seen people who appeared to have everything: the career, the relationship, the stability, yet felt an unexplainable hollow inside. And I have seen people who, by all external measures, had lost everything, yet carried within them a deep sense of peace, because they had discovered meaning in the midst of loss. The difference between them was not luck nor circumstance. The difference was whether they had learned to understand their emptiness, or whether they had spent their lives fleeing from it. So today, I ask you, what if your emptiness is the compass you have been ignoring? What if it is not here to harm you, but to turn you toward the life you were meant to live? You see, the most dangerous thing about emptiness is not the feeling itself. It is the stories you attach to it. You may tell yourself, "I feel this way because I am broken," or because I am not enough, or because I have failed where others have succeeded. And once you tell yourself that story, you stop asking the real question. The real question is not, "Why am I like this?" The real question is, "What is this emptiness trying to reveal?" We are conditioned to believe that life's goal is comfort, that success is the elimination of discomfort. But in truth, discomfort is not the enemy of a meaningful life. It is often the beginning of it. The seed must crack open before it can grow. The caterpillar must dissolve into nothing before it becomes a butterfly. And you must face the unraveling of who you thought you were before you can become who you truly are. Emptiness is the sound of the shell cracking. It is the silence before the birth cry. It is the pause between breaths that feels like eternity. But we are so terrified of that pause that we suffocate it with noise before it can teach us anything. Let me tell you something I learned in my darkest hours. There is a difference between pain that destroys and pain that transforms. Pain that destroys is the kind you resist, the kind you pretend is not there. Pain that transforms is the kind you accept, the kind you let speak. Transformation does not happen by accident. It happens when you give meaning to the pain. Meaning does not erase suffering, but it changes its weight. When you suffer without meaning, every second is unbearable. But when you suffer for something you believe in, the pain becomes part of the journey, not the end of it. This is why emptiness is trying to save you. It is alerting you to the fact that you have been living without meaning, or with a meaning too small for the size of your soul. I remember a man I met after the war. He had survived the camps, yet he told me that the years after his liberation were harder than the years inside. I asked him why. He said, "In there I had a reason to fight, to see my wife again, to bear witness. Out here, no one expects me to keep fighting, and so I don't know why I am alive." His emptiness was not the absence of love or comfort. It was the absence of a reason. You may have avoided your own emptiness because you believe that finding its answer will require a complete upheaval of your life. And you are right. It will, but I promise you this: the upheaval is not destruction. It is liberation. The things that fall away when you listen to your emptiness are the things that never truly belong to you. The life you have built to avoid emptiness may look safe, but it is a prison with invisible bars. The fear you feel when you imagine letting it go is not the fear of dying. It is the fear of being born. I know what you are thinking, but how do I start? And here is the truth. It is not about grand gestures. It is not about quitting your job tomorrow or leaving everything behind in a single night. It begins with the smallest act of courage. Sitting with your emptiness without trying to silence it. Do this for even 5 minutes a day. Turn off the noise, put down the distractions. Sit in the quiet and let the discomfort wash over you. You will feel restless. You will want to reach for something to fill the space. Do not let it ache. Let it ache. Let it whisper. Let it show you what you have been avoiding. In time, you will notice patterns. You will see that your emptiness sharpens in certain moments, when you are doing work that drains you, when you are around people who diminish you, when you are living by rules you never agreed to. And in those patterns, you will find the first hints of your true path. Most people never get this far because they confuse the source of their emptiness with the symptoms. They believe that if they can just earn more, love more, travel more, achieve more, they will feel full. And for a time, they might. But the fullness fades because they have fed themselves the wrong food again. There's only one thing that can truly fill the emptiness: meaning. And meaning is not found in comfort or convenience. Meaning is found where your soul meets something greater than itself, where your life becomes a contribution to something beyond your own survival. This is why the happiest people are not always the most comfortable. They are the ones who have given themselves to a cause, a calling, a responsibility that is bigger than their own needs. They have found a reason to wake up that is worth the struggle. Your emptiness will persist until you find that reason. It will haunt you until you decide that your life will no longer be measured only by what you gain, but by what you give. You may think, "But I have nothing to give." That is the lie that keeps you small. You have something to give right now. Your attention, your presence, your compassion, your willingness to listen. And when you give these things, they multiply. Meaning grows in the soil of service. The irony is that the more you try to fill yourself, the emptier you become. But the more you pour yourself into others, the more you find that the well within you is deeper than you imagined. This is the rescue your emptiness is trying to orchestrate. Not the rescue of comfort, but the rescue of purpose. There is a reason I speak of emptiness as a desert. In a desert, the landscape is stripped of distractions. There are no towering trees to hide behind, no rivers to lull you with their sound. There's only space, silence, and the relentless sun. Many fear the desert because it exposes everything: your thirst, your exhaustion, your limits. But the desert also holds something else: clarity. When you are surrounded by excess, it is easy to mistake abundance for meaning. In the desert, you cannot make that mistake. Every step you take must be chosen with care. Every decision matters. Every decision matters. The desert strips life down to its essentials. And in that stripping away, you begin to see what truly sustains you. Your emptiness is this desert. It feels barren because it is showing you how much of your life is decoration without nourishment. It forces you to ask, what do I really need to live? What can I no longer carry? When I walked through my own desert, Those years when the world I had known had been burned to ash. I discovered something I never expected. I discovered that survival was not enough. To live for survival alone is to live half a life. The human spirit longs for more than air in its lungs and bread in its mouth. It longs for a why. This is why some die even while breathing, and why others live fully even on the edge of death. The difference is the why. Your emptiness is trying to strip you down until you are face to face with yours. You may feel as though you are wandering without direction. The truth is, the desert always has a direction. It is just that you cannot see it until you start walking. In stillness, the mind invents monsters, but in motion, even slow, the horizon begins to change. Do not mistake stillness for stagnation, though. There is a stillness that is paralyzing, yes, but there is also a stillness that is fertile, like a seed waiting under the soil. This kind of stillness happens when you stop forcing answers and allow your inner compass to realign. Your emptiness is part of that realignment. I know the temptation is to rush through this phase. You want the clarity now, the purpose now, the meaning now. But the desert cannot be crossed in a single day. The journey itself is the refining fire. The journey itself is the refining fire. When I worked with people who had endured great losses, I noticed something. Those who tried to rebuild their lives too quickly often built them on the same shaky foundations that had already failed them. They had not let the desert do its work. They had not let their emptiness burn away the illusions they still clung to. And so I say to you, do not be afraid to let go. Do not be afraid to walk through the days that feel endless and bare. They are shaping you into someone who will recognize meaning when you see it. They are teaching you to distinguish between what feeds you and only feeds the mask you wear. Ask yourself, who am I when there is nothing left to prove? Who am I when no one is watching? Who am I when all the titles, roles, and expectations fall away? The answers to these questions will not come in a flash. They will arrive slowly, like dawn light creeping over the dunes. At first, it is only a faint glow, but over time the sky becomes gold, and you realize the sun was always coming. It just needed the night to make its arrival known. In my life, I have learned that meaning often hides in plain sight, but we are too busy chasing what we think we should want to notice it. Your emptiness slows you down enough to see. It strips you of the rush to keep up with the world so that you can finally keep pace with your own soul. The desert teaches another lesson too. You cannot carry everything with you. Every mile demands that you lay something down. At first, you drop what is obviously heavy. Old grudges, false friendships, unworthy ambitions. But as you go deeper, you must let go of subtler weights. The need to be understood by everyone, the desire to control outcomes, the fantasy of a life without pain. The more you let go, the lighter you become. And one day, you will realize that the weight you thought was protecting you was only slowing you down. Your emptiness is not a punishment. It is an invitation to travel light, to carry only what truly matters. And in that lightness you will find a freedom you have never known. But freedom, I must warn you, is frightening to those who have lived in chains. It is easier to complain about your prison than to walk out of it. This is why so many run back to the familiar even when it suffocates them. The desert will ask you to choose freedom again and again, and each time, the choice will be yours alone. Remember, the desert ends. The horizon does not stretch into infinity. It only appears to when you are in the middle of it. And when you finally reach the edge, when you see the green fields waiting beyond, you will not be the same person who began the journey. The fields will not have changed. The water, the shade, the fruit, they will be the same as they always were. The change will be in you. You will drink differently. You will rest differently. You will eat not because you are afraid of hunger, but because you understand the value of the nourishment before you. This is the gift of emptiness. It saves you by stripping away everything that is not you, until you arrive at the place where meaning grows. There is a moment somewhere in the long silence of emptiness when you begin to realize it is holding up a mirror. At first you resist looking. You fear what you will see. Perhaps you believe that the reflection will confirm your worst suspicion, that you are unworthy, inadequate, incapable of living the life you truly long for. But the mirror of emptiness does not exist to shame you. It exists to show you the truth that noise has hidden from you. We spend much of our lives building an image of ourselves that is acceptable to the world. We show others the parts they will applaud, and we hide the parts they will question. But when you are alone with your emptiness, the performance falls away. There is no audience to impress. There is no script to follow. There is only you, raw, unfiltered, and unmasked. This can feel like exposure, as if someone has stripped you bare in a public square. But here, in the stillness, no one is watching but you. The vulnerability you feel is not from being seen by others. It is from seeing yourself without disguise. At first, you may find flaws. You may see the patterns you regret, the compromises you wish you hadn't made, the fears that have kept you small. Do not turn away. Do not judge too quickly. These are not signs of your failure. They are the starting points of your transformation. You cannot change what you cannot see, and you cannot see what you refuse to face. The mirror will also reveal something else, something the world's applause has often drowned out. It will show you the small, stubborn sparks of who you truly are. You may notice how fiercely you have loved, even when love was not returned. You may remember moments when you stood for truth, even at personal cost. You may rediscover the dreams you once carried quietly, the ones that never stopped whispering to you, even when you tried to forget them. This is the paradox of emptiness. It feels like loss, but it is actually discovery. You are not being emptied to become nothing. You are being emptied so that what is real in you has space to breathe. I once met a woman who, after a long illness, told me she had never felt more alive. At first, I did not understand. She explained. The illness took away all the things I thought I needed to be happy. It left me with almost nothing. But in that nothing, I saw myself clearly for the first time. And I liked who I saw. That is the rescue mission of emptiness. It strips away not just the false meaning, but also the false self that clings to it. You may ask, but why does it have to hurt so much? And I will tell you the truth. The pain is the breaking of the shell that cannot come with you into the next chapter of your life. Pain is not proof that something is wrong. It is proof that something is ending. And every ending clears the ground for a beginning. Do not rush to plant seeds the moment the ground is cleared. Let the soil rest. Let the rain fall. Let your soul recover from the weight it has carried. This pause is not wasted time. It is the incubation of a life that will be rooted in truth, not illusion. You might notice in this pause that your relationship with time begins to change. Before, your days may have felt like an endless sprint toward a finish line you could not see. Now, there is space between the breaths. The frantic urgency begins to fade. You begin to notice the details. The way light falls through the window, the sound of your own footsteps on the floor, the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe. This is not idleness. This is presence. And presence is the soil in which meaning grows. Many believe they must first find meaning in order to be present. But I have found the opposite to be true. It is presence that allows meaning to reveal itself. You cannot chase it like prey. You must invite it like a friend. Your emptiness is the invitation. It says, stop running, be here. And when you accept that invitation, you begin to see the meaning that has been woven quietly through your life all along. All along. It might be in the way you comfort a stranger without thinking. It might be in the work you do when no one is watching. It might be in the simple act of holding someone's hand through their pain. These moments seem small, but they are not. They are the fibers from which a life of meaning is woven. The world will tell you to measure your worth in grand achievements, in visible success, in public recognition. But emptiness will remind you that the deepest meaning is often invisible to everyone but you. And that is enough. When you learn to live this way, to see the invisible threads, you are no longer afraid of emptiness. You begin to welcome it when it comes, because you know it will strip away what is false and bring you back to what is true. And then, something extraordinary happens. You no longer depend on the world to tell you who you are. You carry your meaning within you, like a flame that does not go out in the wind. I will tell you this from my own life. When you find that flame, you can endure almost anything. It will not erase pain, but it will anchor you in it. It will give you the strength to walk through the storms without losing yourself. And more than that, It will give you the courage to offer your light to others still lost in the dark. Because the truest rescue is not when emptiness saves you. It is when, having been saved, you turn and become the one who saves. There comes a day when you wake and realize the emptiness no longer frightens you. You feel its presence, but it is no longer a gaping wound. It is a quiet space. Like a room you have cleaned and left open for someone to arrive. The restlessness is gone. The hunger remains, but it is no longer desperate. It is a hunger that knows the meal is coming. This shift happens so subtly you may not notice it at first. One morning you catch yourself humming a song without reason. Another day you notice the way the air feels warm on your skin. And for the first time in months or years, you feel glad to be alive. These moments are not the grand fireworks you might have imagined meaning would bring. They are gentle, they are tender, but they are the first signs that you are no longer surviving. You are living. And here's the truth that will change everything for you. Meaning is not something you wait to find at the end of the road. It is something you carry with you as you walk. The desert does not suddenly bloom into a garden when you reach its far edge. The blooming begins while you are still in it, in small and unexpected ways. Perhaps you offer a word of kindness to someone else who is wandering. Perhaps you notice beauty in a place you once thought was barren. Perhaps you begin to build something, not because it will rescue you, but because you feel compelled to give what you can. This is how purpose begins, not as a lightning strike, but as a slow, steady flame. You feed it with small acts of courage and truth. You protect it from the winds of doubt and distraction. And in time, it grows strong enough to guide you through any darkness. The beautiful paradox is that once you begin to live with meaning, you realize that the emptiness you feared was never your enemy. It was your teacher. It pushed you into the questions you needed to ask. It stripped away the illusions that would have kept you asleep. It refused to let you waste your life on the wrong things. Now you understand why it hurt. It was pulling you away from comfort toward life. And life, real life, is not about being safe from pain. It is about having something worth facing pain for. I have seen people who have gone through deep loss emerge not as shadows of themselves, but as brighter, more compassionate beings than they were before. Not because they enjoyed the suffering, but because they allowed it to change them. They did not harden into bitterness. They softened into wisdom. This is the path before you now. You have walked through the desert. You have faced the mirror. You have learned to sit in the silence. And now you are ready to turn toward the horizon, not as someone desperate for escape, but as someone ready to meet the world with open hands. You will discover that meaning is not a single thing, fixed and unchanging. It shifts as you grow. It deepens as you give. Some days it will feel close, like a dear friend. Other days it will seem distant, and you will have to seek it again. That is the nature of the journey. You are not failing when you feel the emptiness return. You are simply being invited to grow further. Do not fear these returns. They are not regressions. They are reminders that life is not a straight path, but a spiral drawing you ever deeper into the truth. Each time you circle back to emptiness, you will find that you meet it with more courage, more understanding, and more love than before. One day, you will stand where you are now and look back, and you will see the strange mercy in all of it. You will see that your emptiness was not a void, but a doorway. And on the other side of that doorway was not some new life waiting for you. It was you waiting for yourself. So walk on, friend. Carry your flame into the world. Let it light the path for others, as others once lit the path for you. Let your life be the proof that emptiness does not destroy, it transforms. Let every step you take say to the world, I was not broken, I was becoming. And when your final day comes, you will not measure your life by how safe you stayed, or how much you gathered, or how loudly the world applauded you. You will measure it by the lives you touched, the truths you lived, and the love you gave without reserve. Then you will understand, with the deepest peace, that your emptiness did not come to end you. It came to save you. I have walked through the corridors of my own despair so many times that I have memorized the shadows on the walls. And yet, every time I think I have reached the end, I discover another hallway, another locked door, another silence that forces me to stop and listen. It is in these silences that the truth often hides. Not in the moments when the world is loud, but in the moments when the weight of your own heartbeat is the only sound you hear. And if you are willing to stay long enough in that stillness, you will begin to notice something strange. The silence is not empty. It is speaking. It tells you that failure was never your greatest fear. Your greatest fear was discovering that you were running toward a meaning that was never meant for you. And if you are honest with yourself, you will see that much of your exhaustion did not come from the weight of your burdens, but from the wrong direction of your steps. When a soul runs toward the wrong horizon, no matter how fast it goes, no matter how disciplined or dedicated it remains, it will always arrive somewhere that feels hollow. It is like a tree growing in poisoned soil. The branches will spread, the leaves will appear, but the fruit will never feed anyone. And one day you will look at that tree and realize, I grew, but I did not nourish. That is why the question is not simply, am I succeeding? The deeper question is, am I succeeding at the right thing? Because a well-climbed ladder leaning against the wrong wall will still take you nowhere that matters. And maybe this is where you are now. Maybe you've been chasing applause instead of meaning, security instead of truth, a life that others admire instead of a life your soul can survive in. If so, I need you to hear me. This is not failure. This is your turning point. This is the precise moment where the map you have been following catches fire, and in the ashes, your real path begins to reveal itself. And yet, as I stand here, at the precipice of all that has been lost, and all that still aches to be found, I realize something I never dared to believe in the early days of my search. Meaning was never a destination. It was never the crown waiting at the end of the road, nor the light waiting at the final bend. Meaning was the footsteps themselves, the ache in my legs, the dust on my hands, the breath in my lungs after nights when the sky seemed endless and empty. I think of all the people who crossed my path, not as chapters in my story, but as whole universes in their own right. I remember their laughter and their silences, the way they spoke of dreams they thought no one else would understand. I remember how some of them walked with me for only a few days, yet changed the trajectory of my heart for years. And now I feel the strange stillness of a heart that no longer runs frantically toward the future, but instead stands fully in the present, aware, alive, unafraid. Meaning I see now was not hidden in the grand answers I thought I was chasing. It was in the small mercies. The kind word offered when I could not lift my head. The hand that held mine when I had forgotten I was still human. The silence shared with another soul when words would only cheapen the truth we felt. In those moments, I was not failing. I was not lost. I was being led, sometimes by pain, sometimes by grace, toward a horizon that was never meant to be reached, but always meant to be followed. And now, standing on the edge of all that was and all that could be, I understand this truth with the fullness of my being. Your emptiness did not come to punish you. It did not come to break you. It came to save you. It came to strip away the illusions that weighed you down, to clear the debris of meaninglessness from your path, and to make room for something real, something eternal, to grow inside you. When the world feels silent and your heart feels hollow, do not turn away. Do not fill the space with noise or distraction. Sit with the emptiness, listen to it. Let it speak its ancient language, for it carries the map to your true self. Emptiness is the soil in which meaning takes root. Pain is the fire that forges your spirit. And in the dark, there is always a light waiting to be born. If only you dare to stay long enough to see it. So walk forward, not despite your emptiness, but because of it. Let it be the compass that guides you toward a life that is not just lived, but deeply and fully felt. Remember this. You were never broken. You were becoming. And in that becoming, you will find your freedom, your purpose, and your peace.